lot of you guys know that I have some crazy lore when it comes to my ex past relationship. I know what it is like to be that dumb in a terrible, terrible relationship where everyone sees it but you don't. Okay? And if I could describe like Gen Z millennial relationships right now, I would say that this epidemic that we're seeing is what I like to call the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is a phenomenon where a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they have invested heavily into it, even when it's clear that abandonment would be way more beneficial. Obviously, this has been around for generations and generations, okay? But what makes this different this time around is now we have social media. Now people are like creating trends, almost glamorizing the whole sunk cost fallacy issue. And I want to talk about it, okay? Let's go. A prime example of someone making a trend or almost glamorizing this sunk cost fallacy is this video right here.
So our total was about $300. Do you want to explain why, Nash? What's our rule?
It's like $100.
Yeah, so every time he calls me a mean name, I get $100 worth of stuff.
Yeah, you guys heard that right, okay? Every single time he like calls her a mean name, he has to give her $100 to spend at Home Goods. You already know that this girl is blinged out, okay? Every time she goes to like the Chili's meetup with the girlfriends, okay? She's got a Rolex on, she's got a Gucci belt, she's got a Chanel bag. Imagine being one of her friends and you see her walking in with like a new Rolex. You know that her man must have like called her the most ungodly slurs like you could ever even think of. Only the top 1% of boomers have heard and still use these slurs. The only place that you could actually hear these slurs said out loud in the present day is like the bottom of the ocean League of Legends lobbies. You know, at this point of the relationship, the respect is gone. They don't care about each other. Like, at this point, I would just start instigating because I can get money from it. I would literally unlock every single ick he did not know he had, all right? I would do my Stitch impression. Girl, put me in a room with that man. I would literally have front row tickets to Beyonce the next day.
Can you believe she had a baby 7 days ago? Oh my God, you look great.
Can you believe I had a baby 7 days ago and I'm the one that's doing the laundry?
You look like shit. I take it back.
Guys, the divorce came out of nowhere. Like, no one saw the divorce coming. She's had her Gucci tour during birth, and I was like, okay, what that mouth do? And then she got mad again. God forbid a white boy catch a vibe. You know?
You already know this man has some crazy weaponized incompetence. He doesn't remember his daughter's pediatrician or the fact that she has a gluten allergy, but you know his remembers every single map in Valorant. He's the type of guy that puts his leftover Chipotle burrito in the refrigerator without a container, a wrap, plastic bag. He just raw dogs it, okay? He raw dogs the Chipotle leftovers. You already know he does. Also, and this is the same with the first girl that we just saw, the laugh at the end, you know she's over it. Girl, that is my laugh in corporate when everyone's like saying their fun fact and I have to like pretend like I'm engaged.
Fun fact about me, I think that pineapple does belong on pizza.
That's literally the laugh I do. So if you're like me and your back always hurts from the pressures of being such a baddie with a fatty that's also a good wife, that's also really funny, okay, let me tell you, having a really nice bed will take you such a long way. And that is thanks to our sponsor of the day, which is Plank Mattress. Plank mattresses specialize in creating ultra firm yet supportive, plushy, flippable mattresses that are built to support a neutral spine position that helps with back pain and posture. Bryce and I were desperate to get a new mattress because we were literally using the same one from college that was like half broken and it would like sink in the middle like this, and we would literally wake each other up every single night. So when we set out to get a new mattress, we wanted to make sure that our mattress would be durable, supportive, and firm, but not firm in like the Asian parents wooden bed type firm. Like, it still has to be plushy. So we decided to get the Plank firm mattress in the queen king size. And we've been using it for a month now, and it's genuinely one of the best beds I have ever slept on. First of all, it is the easiest thing to install. It comes delivered, vacuum sealed to your doorstep. All you need to do is just unbox it, roll it out on top of your bed frame, and it literally inflates to its full size in like 30 seconds, which is insane because most traditional beds take like 2 to 3 business days to inflate, and then it still has creases. The other thing that I love about it is that it is so perfectly firm. So when you lay on it, it does contour to your body without making you feel like you're getting sucked in by the mattress. It also really decreases the amount of disruptions we have at night. Like as you guys can see in this clip here, I'm literally jumping on the bed and Bryce is barely moving. Plank also has a 120-night sleep trial with a limited lifetime warranty. All the mattresses are assembled in Arizona, so anyone in the US will get free shipping on top of it. So if you're looking for a mattress that's supportive and firm, but not like hard and uncomfortable, go ahead and check out that link in my bio or scan the QR code on the screen right now. Thank you so much, Plank, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to the content. Another trend I've been seeing are people making up those like ask your partner to do something for you trends, you know, like the orange peel theory one, where you would ask your partner to peel an orange for you, and if they don't, that means they hate you, and if they do, that means they love you. I feel like these trends like pop up every like 6 months or something, you know? Because now it's not the orange peel theory anymore. Now it's like what I like to call like the flower theory. So the whole like gimmick and joke behind the flower trend is that you want your boyfriend or your husband to buy you flowers, but then they don't ever buy you flowers. So you have to overtly hint to them that you want flowers by buying a bunch of flowers for yourself, and then when they come home you like shove them into making it look like they bought you the flowers and you act all happy that now you have flowers. Yeah. Another trend is like the asking your husband to make you coffee trend.
Will you make me a coffee?
Are you crazy?
For real, I'm really about to fall asleep.
Okay. Is this like a back and forth thing? Because
It's a simple question. I just ask, will you make me coffee? I never ask you to make me coffee.
if you keep on getting an attitude, you can do something with that too.
And you act like it has to be an exchange. What's wrong with you?
It's always one-sided. You walked your butt all the way down the hallway last night, and you turned around and got into bed and then handed me your cup.
It's a yes
And then
or
you were
no.
home all night.
You know, there's that laugh again. It is a universal experience for every single one of the videos that we've looked at so far. This exactly here is what I mean with the sunk cost fallacy. In all of these videos, these women, rightfully so, are upset. Their husbands are calling them mean names, not buying them flowers when they want them to, not making them a cup of coffee. But instead of leaving or, you know, actually criticizing that behavior, they laugh about it and make this a relatable trend. Like this is supposed to be a relatable experience for everyone. Imagine how exhausting it must be to be with someone like this though. You know, like every single time you want them to do like less than the bare minimum, they make it into like this whole Shark Tank episode. This is my impression of what I think he expected out of her asking him to do the bare minimum, okay?
Sharks, have you ever wanted your partner to do the bare minimum? Well, that's why today, in exchange for you making me a cup of coffee, I will exchange a steak dinner, doing the laundry, wiener touches in perpetuity, and I'll even remove the fight we'll have later on about you liking my friend's bikini photos on LinkedIn. What do you say?
Like that is what I imagined he thought she was gonna say, for her asking him to make her a cup of coffee. That is so exhausting. So speaking of the sunk cost fallacy, I don't think anything represents that concept more than staying and defending a man who does not ever want to marry you or commit to you. Ever.
If my boyfriend asks me to marry him, I'm gonna say no. Why am I gonna say no? Because we started dating 5 years ago, and then a month after we started dating, his friend started dating his girlfriend. And They had a kid after 2 years of being together. We had our daughter after 4 years of being together. And the crazy thing is that when we started talking, he said, if we last a year, I'd like to get married and try for a baby. So a year came by, nothing. Then he said, well, maybe after 3 years, let's look at it like a lease payment. You get 3 years. 3 years came by, nothing. Then he said maybe 5. 5 is a big deal. Bet. 5 came. Nothing. So he says, well, I made you the mother of my first and only child, and that should be good enough.
Oh God, this video just makes me so mad. Girl, you are this pretty. You are the mother of his only child. And he's saying that this is a lease payment? This is like a lease type of system? Like the whole lease payment, seeing if you like it or not, argument goes out the door when you have a kid with someone. You know, a permanent decision. Like this doesn't sound like you're talking about the love of your life, your partner you've had for over 5 years plus, you know, the mother of your child. This sounds like a frat boy talking about like his hype house.
My place is the frat trap house. Yeah, it's haunted. There's vomit stains from Desmond keeping his brains out last year. But you know, it's good enough for me. It's good enough until like my crypto takes off. You know, see if we like it next year. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another example of like this whole staying with a man who doesn't want to marry you, okay? So in this video, this woman filmed herself counting down until she proposes to her boyfriend, and then at the end, you just see her crying as if he said no or something. She made a response video pretty much defending this, saying that he actually did say yes during the proposal. However, she's not going to wear a ring, and they're not going to tell anyone, and they're gonna pretty much act like this didn't happen, I guess. She also talks about, even though this is not ideal and it's obvious that she's hurt by this, she kind of justifies why she's going to stay with him and defends his actions.
We're adults and we love each other very dearly, and we talked about it and we talked it out and we talked out what made sense for us. We compromised because that's what a good relationship does. And we have been together for 9.5 years. We've lived together for 5. We have a cute little dog together. I'm not willing to dump a relationship to get a marriage. Because at the end of the day, I think marriage is this big, exciting event in your life. I don't think it's a goal. I don't think it's an end-all, be-all. You don't carry your marriage as your ultimate life goal, do you?
And that part right there, you guys, is the thesis and why I am making this video in the first place, okay? I'm not willing to throw away a great relationship for a marriage. Okay, let that sink in. I just don't have that much commentary about this because I think it's actually really sad. It reminds me a lot of my old self, okay? No one is more embarrassing than me. Okay, let me tell you a story. I literally put myself knowingly as the standby Valentine's Day hookup for a man for when the girl he was actually trying to go on a date with said no. Is that not the most embarrassing story you've ever heard? And it was all because I dead ass felt at 19 that I have put so much of myself into relationships with these crusty men. Surely there's never gonna be a man that's going to marry me and dress up as a furry for my TikToks. No, that'll never happen. Like, this is the reason why infantilizing grown men can be so bad, okay? Because like now society has like this collective psychosis that men are not capable of loving women. That men are not capable of like going the extra mile for anyone, and they're supposed to be selfish. There are men that are so obsessed with Elon that they buy a Cybertruck. Look up how expensive a Cybertruck is, and then you come back and tell me why your man can't buy you at least a department store ring. Do it. If you guys watch my money talk video, there are alpha males that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to be in a club where they breathe the same air as rich old men. Yeah, there are men that will eat your farts. Okay, I wish someone would have told me that before. So if there's a single couple that I feel like really embodies the sunk cost fallacy theory, it would be Sarah and Andrew Kim. So if you guys are not on TikTok, this couple has gone viral. They were like the main characters on TikTok for a while now. And it's because Andrew, the husband, seemingly is taking advantage of his wife financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, pretty much everywhere in their lives. But the controversy really started when she uploaded a bunch of podcast episodes pretty much validating all the things her fans were saying.
Do you want me to tell the story? Your PR might go down.
So I thought that we could look at the situation together, okay? So let's recap pretty much what we have going on here. So Sarah is 27 and Andrew is 35. They met when she was 20 and he was 28. We will talk more about that later in this video, okay? So Sarah works in corporate and has a 2-hour commute a day, 1 hour there and 1 hour back. She's also a full-time content creator. She has almost 3 million followers on TikTok. And you guys, she is also pregnant. Andrew was a pastor, but then he quit his job to pursue higher education. And my understanding is that even though he graduated years ago, he has continued to be unemployed. So Sarah is a vlogger, and through her vlogs, her fans have kind of clocked that she's working in corporate, she's filming content, and when she comes home from her job and before she goes to her job, she's always cleaning and cooking. All the meanwhile, her husband seems to be playing video games and does not help her at all. A common criticism a lot of her fans have said about Andrew is that he seems to like not really give a fuck about Sarah. And a really good example of this is when they were talking about the first night they spent together after they got married.
I married this guy thinking, wow, he doesn't play video games, green flag. I thought you were just this like bookworm who writes blog posts and, you know, listens to audiobooks. Our apartment's not even fully furnished. We don't have a couch outside. We have a mattress in the room, no bed frame. And I'm a very light sleeper. And so around 1 a.m. came around, which is probably around the time I was gonna sleep. I try to go to bed and Andrew's still playing. I don't know when he started playing, probably like 10 p.m. or something. Sorry, it's like 3 hours in. I'm trying to sleep. Screen's obviously like bright and blinking. And it's not just the noise and the light. It's kind of like my rage I didn't know that was growing inside of me. And so I figured around like 3 a.m. he might come to bed. But the rage grew as he just wouldn't stop. Now I'm like upset about not being able to sleep. I'm upset about my reality being shaken at the fact that I've married a gamer dude. And so I go to the living room and I'm like trying to look for a place to sleep so that I can at least sleep. And I find our love seat and I must have actually fallen asleep because it's so late. I get woken up by Andrew and I don't know what time it is. I'm disoriented. He goes, my love, how long were you out here for? And I open my eyes and the sun is out. Must have been 7 a.m.
I'm not even trying to hate on gamers. Bryce is a huge gamer, okay? But imagine being so addicted and so entranced in your game that you literally didn't even realize that your wife was sleeping out in the living room with no furniture, okay, until 7 a.m. the next day. Like, what? Like, imagine thinking that you married a man of God that, like, loves to read in his spare time. He's an audiobook type of dude. But then it's revealed to you in season 7 that, like, actually he's a full-blown Discord mod gamer. Guys, he's literally Hannah Montana. This is a Hannah Montana type reveal. Like, this is how I imagine the reveal to look like, okay?
Sarah, I know that you think I'm this man of God that unironically watches the Macy's dog parade.
Yeah.
But I'm actually a League of Legends Discord mod. Yeah.
You get the best of both worlds. Doing sermons by day, then you do it in the game. You get the best. Again, you're welcome for the song. I will now pitch this whole TV show idea to Netflix. Another criticism they have of Andrew not giving a about Sarah is, I guess, about her pregnancy.
But then it seems like you're so far behind. Like you don't know or not concerned with, or you won't address the baby, you won't talk about the baby, you didn't necessarily ask me like, oh, like, how are you feeling? I needed you to ask me like 5 times.
He also did like this 5-minute monologue about how he is completely checked out from the pregnancy process.
Evaluate the situation and see if what I can control, I want to do something about it. But if I recognize I can't really do much, then I'm okay letting it go, right? And I think in this situation, I just felt mostly like, well, there's not much I can do right now, but I'm here and I'm happy and I'm excited. But then Sarah was starting to feel like, hello, you know, I'm not doing this by myself. I need you to be here and invested. And I think I'm also just not the type to like really worry and kind of be anxious and want to do a bunch of stuff when I don't necessarily need to.
Sir, what do you mean you can't do something about this? Like you can't make food for her, rub her feet, help her do stuff around the house? There are a lot of things you could be doing. So I don't know where this whole like I can't do anything about it type mentality comes in here. I'm not even gonna do commentary about this clip. All I'm gonna ask you guys to do is watch his face when his wife tells him that she feels like he doesn't give a about their baby. This is not the face of someone who genuinely gives a okay? This is the face of someone that remembered a really funny Twitter joke they saw earlier, and he can't wait to tell all of his friends in the Discord. Okay, the main thing that people have really criticized him about though is obviously their money situation. He seems to be unwilling, not unable, unwilling to financially contribute anything, but he also seems to be like a financial burden onto her as well.
But I still have to come face to face with, I still need a provider. No matter how many times I can double, triple, quadruple your income, I still need a financial provider or contributor. And it's like, how do I express that need to you without bringing guilt or shame along with it?
Yeah.
So then that was really hard for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did I think about what if I married rich?
Yeah.
During those hard times? Probably. Yeah. Like, wow, if I just married a really rich dude, this wouldn't be happening.
It's just the way that she already acknowledged that she's not asking him to make more money than her. She knows that that's never gonna happen, but she just wants him to contribute something, okay? He literally could have been one of those guys that like flips the signs outside of a sketchy weed store and gave her a half-eaten Jersey Mike sub, and she would have been out, spreading her cheeks, ready for him to come home. She would have been so happy. I just don't understand how he's sitting there and laughing about this. Imagine your partner talking about fantasizing to marry somebody else over you all the time. Like, is that not disheartening? For Sarah, there's that fake laugh again, okay? It's like she complains about something, she sees that he's laughing, and she's just like, F it, I guess I'll just mirror that and start laughing too. Guys, I am literally so depressed that I read Harry Styles fanfic and then pretend that it's Jason Park from church that makes $40K a year. Funny story, I fantasize about Jason Park from church marrying me and paying the electricity bill, and then I let him power wash my ass. But alas, this conversation continues.
One thing that I feel like I have to tell the world is not for a second ever did Sarah ever make me feel like I'm a burden, that I'm not pulling my weight, that she's resentful of me for not being able to provide for her. She 100% said, we are going through this together. And this is what's best for us right now. It's not ideal, but it's what we need. And like, it's what I needed, but she saw that as, and so that's just my time to be able to support you and really have your back in this.
Yeah, and I'm just painting like a really pretty picture, but it definitely wasn't pretty, I think I had to come face to face with the fact that I still have needs, just like, oh, I think it makes sense as to why, like, I believe that a man is a provider of a home, even though realistically I'll probably be making more money than you for the rest of our lives.
Oh girl, she was charging up that, actually, the whole entire time that he was talking. She's like Pikachu, just charging up all that electricity before she blasts his ass with that, actually.
Not for a second ever did Sarah ever make me feel like I'm a burden, that I'm not pulling my weight,
Oh, actually, no, fucking sucked this entire time.
So I also want to point out that this is not like a new problem that they've been having. It seems like they've been having issues like this their whole entire relationship. One of the issues being that her family seems to be very iffy, if not hating Andrew ever since they start dating. Because like I said earlier in this video, they started dating when she was 20 and he was 28. This also seems to be a recurring activity for Andrew because someone from his church that is Sarah's age has submitted some receipts of Andrew hanging out with very young girls that he mentored.
My friends and I started seeing him online a few years ago and thought it was pretty weird that he was married to someone who was the same age as us and so many of the young students he mentored. I stayed quiet with my thoughts for the most part because the internet seemed to worship their relationship, but I now feel comfortable sharing. One, many of the girls in Sarah's middle school, high school friend group attended our church and grew up with Pastor Andy as a mentor, pastor, and confidant. I even remember Sally visiting our church retreats or praise nights. We always thought it was questionable whether he knew about her back then when he was a pastor, but either way, it's strange to think that he married someone in the same age range as the young girls he was mentoring and teaching as a trusted adult. Two, a few years ago when he was engaged to Sarah, my friends, and I noticed Pastor Andy was consistently liking posts of girls from our youth group in Bickeness or doing TikTok dances with Rev, Ling Clothing. We thought it was so weird given the content of the posts and his position as a youth pastor, but also the fact that he was engaged at the time to a girl who was only 1 to 2 years older than us. And it was not just once in a while, but almost every single post. 3, for a while Pastor Andy was involved with a Christian pastor who had very questionable practices. Although I'm not sure if he's still involved with this person, at the time this pastor introduced GY conversion prayer nights at our church and told students to attend if they were struggling with HSUality so the pastors could pray it away.
I already know that there's going to be those alpha males and then there's those contrarian millennials that are going to be in my comment section being like,
actually, my grandparents had a 35-year age gap and they procreated 20 times. And they had a 60-year-long relationship. So yeah, it's not weird. She's 20, which is over 18, so I don't see a problem here. What's the problem? She's legal.
You could not pay me enough money to date a 20-year-old. It is, I can't even fathom why people don't find this weird. Imagine what their dates must have been like. What, he asked her to meal swipe him in the dining hall? And then he pegs on her bike to go to the theater where he gets to watch her play Lumiere in the school Beauty and the Beast play? Are you for real? I can't imagine one of my friends being like,
hey, I have to cancel tonight's plans because actually I'm going to the Under the Sea enchantment formal with my 20-year-old child bride girlfriend. And I think this time she's gonna give me her scrunchie. Yeah, it's official.
And obviously I wasn't the only one that was iffy about this age gap, okay? Her family did not like him when they first met, and that continued on to when they got engaged.
I gave a little speech, right? Basically, I was telling him how I'm so committed to his daughter, and I'm so thankful for who he's raised her to be, and I want to ask for his blessing to marry her, to propose to her. He was smiling, but the life went out of his eyes. Yeah. The blood drained from his face. He froze. And he was like, he didn't know what to say. He was shocked and maybe even a little offended. I don't know. He was upset, feeling a lot of things.
Man, I feel for my dad.
Yeah, you know, but I thought I made it pretty clear he can prepare for it. He might have something to say. He had nothing to say. He was just like, okay. All right, well, I'll think about it. That's what he said.
Yeah, her dad knew. In that month he took to respond to Andrew, he was praying every single day to every single God that he knew. God, please make her say no. Please make her say no. Girl, towards the end of that month, he was probably so desperate that he started praying to Trump. Donald J. Trump, if you can hear me, please, Donald J. Trump, please tell me it's a joke. Andrew is the type of boyfriend that I like to call the Babadook type boyfriend. These people are never like the jump scare ghost type of toxic, you know? They're all in your head. It's all a psychological game with them. They make you feel shitty and like you're always feeling like your needs are never met, but then they gaslight you into thinking that, oh, it's just all in your head. It's all in your head. I didn't say that. Nothing I did was toxic. I don't know why you think that way. Like, that is what I'm seeing in this couple now. So after all this controversy, Sarah finally responded and surprise, surprise, she defends it. She starts off the video by talking about how he's finally employed. He finally has a job. And she talks about how he's actually the best husband now. Actually, he spends so much time like massaging her feet and helping her on the back end with her videos and doing things that we don't see on camera. And about the age gap thing and like the potential grooming allegations that were there, she pretty much brushed this off and said that she understands that people have gone through that trauma and she's very sorry for them and she will be there for them. Honestly, the response video kind of just dug them in a deeper hole than they were already in, because now people are kind of mad. Here is what I'm going to say as someone who was very deep into sunk cost fallacy. She's freshly married, she's pregnant, she's religious, she's very family oriented, she's a very public relationship. Like, I understand, and honestly, I'm very much not surprised that she's gonna decide to protect her husband in this. However, when you post multiple clips and podcast episodes of you constantly talking about how you wish your husband would help you more, how he doesn't help you financially, even though you want him to, how he doesn't help you run the house, even though you want him to, how he doesn't seem to care about your pregnancy, even though you want him to? Like, what were you expecting all of us to say? For me, I feel like this was like the Babadook in her head was just getting louder and louder and louder, and she needed some sort of validation that she wasn't crazy and that all of her wants and needs and stuff were actually valid, because he's been laughing it off for 8 years, you know? How do I think we should proceed from here? In my opinion, overall, she is a grown woman, okay? She makes a lot of money, more than me and you, for sure. And she has made her decision. I think that mass blocking them or like harassing her is just really unnecessary. Like, if it bothers you that she's gonna stay with him, just disengage from their content. There's no point. There's no point. Just no point. My overall message to all of you guys is that you are beautiful, you're amazing. I hope that you see that in yourselves, and that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love, and that you don't ever, ever, ever put yourself as a standby Valentine's Day hookup date. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your comments down in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.